Good morning and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. My name is Frank Mistoris, and I am your practitioner and actually your speaker for today. Today's meditation is very simple. Allow yourself just to go in and take a breath. Take a second breath and release. Take a third breath and release at your own pace. And we're just going to take a few gentle steps in our mind. In your mind, allow yourself just to take a step down. Take a second step down. Take a third step down. Until you come to the place in your mind or in your heart or in your body where you're the most comfortable. Allow yourself to visualize your most favorite place. Be a beach or the mountains or a lake or your home. Allow yourself just to see the most comfortable, luscious chair that you know you can just rest in. And relax into that chair. And ask, just gently ask for the experience of the mystical Christ within you. Just think and allow yourself to experience it. You're never separated. Sometimes we just forget and we become unaware. So now just be aware. You see, what do you know? Do you feel by just being open to this experience of awareness of the presence of the mystical Christ in you? If you should get distracted, just come back to the breath and focus on your breathing and re-invite into your awareness the mystical Christ. So, what are you experiencing just being aware of the mystical Christ in you? Maybe you're just not aware of the mystical Christ in you, and that's okay too. 3, are you feeling energized? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling angry? It's all part of the mystical Christ that you are. So, as you have experienced whatever you've experienced, just say thank you. Thank you to the God within you, the part of you that is always there, from which you are never separated, the part of you you are always one with. Allow yourself to gently get up from the chair or the couch or whatever you were seated on, easily and effortlessly and gently, that space. And take your first step up, come aware of that which is around you. Take your second step up, becoming even more awake and more aware of what's around you. Take the third step up and allow yourself to even become more awake, even more so. And as you step away from the stairs, open your eyes and be present to this very moment, this very space that you're in, the very time you are, this moment. Open your eyes and say thank you to the divine within for whatever you've experienced. So it is.
has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning, praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall. Good morning and God morning, and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's Sunday service. Good morning and God morning, My name is Dana Cole. I'm your producer and host today. My apologies for this morning's sound going out for Safi's performance. You could tell by the way she was singing that it was truly beautiful, but my apologies. We missed it because something happened with the studio. So, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Again, my name is Dana Cole. Our musician for today is Safi, and our practitioner, as who did the pre-service meditation, is Frank Mastores, and he's also our guest speaker today. So, welcome everyone. As you know, every morning, thank you all for your service. Thank you all for your service. And as you know, every morning is Invite a Friend or Family Member Sunday. So we ask you to invite folks and spread the love. And now Frank will provide us with an opening prayer.
Good morning again, and happy Easter to those who celebrate. I know in this moment and every moment there is only God. God in its multiple expressions. God everywhere expressed. God expressed in all people, all places, all things. It is only God and everything. Even in the appearances that we don't understand or we don't like, that too is God expressing. Everyone and everything is part of this divine life, this divine force called God. I know today that each of us are here by divine appointment. Those who are listening now and present, and those who will listen later, that everything and everyone is part of that mystical presence of the mystical Christ that we all are. I know this service is done in divine perfection, divine right order, that everything manifests easily and effortlessly and properly. I am grateful for Safi for her beautiful music. I am grateful for Dana hosting. I am grateful for God in me, as me, through me, manifesting in all spaces as me. And I release this to the law, knowing that this service is done in divine perfection. And so it is.
And so it is. Honoring the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. And today we honor the religion of Christianity with one of its high holy days, the Resurrection Sunday or Easter. So, next, I have a few announcements and an event to announce. So, every Thursday night, you can learn and study and practice with uh, the Thursday night study group. Visit cslgreaterbaltimore.com to learn how to participate. You can also become a member by enrolling and participating in the discovery class. So for a full list of events, you can go to cslgreaterbaltimore.com. Would you like to? We have many opportunities for you to volunteer and connect and engage. As some of you may know, we are starting our in person services at Ruscombe Mansion Community Health Center in the Hill House. And so we need a hospitality team. We have opportunities for you to help us with fundraising, with grant writing, with online production and community outreach, as well as with event coordination and production. And any way you'd like to contribute, we say yes. So please contact anyone that's on the board of trustees. I'm the president of the board of trustees. You can also send an email to info at cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Our next board meeting is next Sunday, April 16th, directly after service in our Zoom room. So go to our website at cslgreaterbaltimore.org or .com to visit and find the link. Prayer works. And I'll give you an opportunity to say it with me. Prayer works. As a community, we continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent via email to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. And next, we will have a musical selection from Safi. Goodness, give me a second. Well, you know what? I'll give you your full introduction after I pull it up for your next song. Next, we'll have Safi.
Yes, thank you so much. Let's make sure this works. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I've been having some stuff going on this morning, so that's okay. That's how it is sometimes. Good morning, everyone. But I would like to play this song again because I really love this song. And happy Easter, everyone. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning. Praise for them springing fresh from the word. Sweet the rain's new fall, sunlit from heaven, like the first dew fall on the first grass. Praise for the sweetness of the red garden, sprung in completeness where his feet pass. Mine is the sunlight, mine is the morning, born of the one light, even saw play. Praise with elation, praise every morning. God's recreation of the new day. Morning has broken like the first morning. Blackbird has spoken like the first bird. Praise for the singing, praise for the morning. Praise for them springing fresh from the word. Ooh, ooh,
Oh, absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Sophie.
Thank you.
And next, we will have a spiritual practice shared to us by Frank Mastoris. And I think I'll reserve Frank's introduction for when he speaks as well.
Today's spiritual practice is a reflection. Take a moment just to reflect on the mystical Christ that we all are. And just allow yourself to be vulnerable to it. Allow yourself to be open to it. Allow it to speak to you. And allow yourself just to bring that in. Whatever was said to you, whatever you felt, just experience it. And that's enough. That's more than enough. So it is.
So it is. So Frank is our guest speaker today. Frank Mastoris, a licensed spiritual practitioner, was raised Catholic. And as he grew, he was more determined to find an experience of the divine or God. He felt this overriding desire to find God. Frank began to explore his own spirituality using prayer, meditation, the Bible, and the rosary as a means of exploring his spirituality. He had this experience of feeling overwhelmingly connected to God and loved. Though he did not realize it, he felt as if he was love itself. Frank has been involved with religious science since 1992 and has been a licensed practitioner since 2014. As a traveling health professional, he has visited religious science churches throughout the country. He has felt this call for over 40 years to live and share a life of oneness with and as the divine expression of all of life. Frank's spiritual work is to always call others to their deeper awareness of the divine within throughout and about their lives. Frank's spiritual work is to call all to the deep awareness of God as themselves. I give you Frank Nestoris.
Good morning. And I want to tell you a story. And the story's about a little boy by the name of Jesus. Jesus grew up in Bethlehem of Galilee many years ago. He grew up to his mother Mary and his father Joseph, who was a carpenter. And each of them loved. He grew up just like any other kid. He loved his mom and his dad. He more than likely loved playing with his friends. But there was something in him that called him to the greater yet to be, something that called his heart and his mind, and he couldn't ignore it. And that voice was the voice of Spirit God within him as himself. And he loved that voice, and he heard that voice, and he was willing to be vulnerable to that voice and follow it no matter what was said. But as a human being, having a spiritual experience, I'm sure he was afraid. Fear probably gripped him, not so much at his own voice, but what the voices were telling him that he eventually had to do and where he eventually had to go. I mean, how many of us are willing to listen to God within and step out and really believe and really hear and really live from that voice? Really have the faith to step out and be God in themselves, as themselves. He was probably afraid. He was probably uncertain that he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. And he was probably going, well, why me? Why can't I just have a more normal life like other people, like other children? I'm nobody important. I'm nobody special. Really? Who knows? But he was vulnerable. He was willing to listen. He was willing to follow that deep inner voice that led him to his ministry and eventually to dying on the cross and then resurrecting. So, we as human beings having spiritual experiences in our life, sometimes we're afraid to be vulnerable. We're afraid to be vulnerable to each other. We're afraid to be vulnerable to ourselves. A lot of times we do denial. We don't want to listen to what we're really feeling. As I teasingly say to my friends, denial is not a river in Egypt. But being vulnerable is the key to having a complete happy life. We have to look at ourselves. We have to feel the complete experience of our lives, what we would call the good and the bad. None of us like everything about ourselves, but that's okay. It's just part of the experience that we go through. Sometimes we're afraid of what we hear. Sometimes we're uncertain in life because life has periods where we really have to follow and step up and really get past the fear to be ourselves completely. As teenagers, how many of us were so confident that we could just step out and be ourselves? We were afraid of what other people would think of us. We were afraid of what our family would think of us. For some of us who were gay, we were afraid we would be disowned by our family and not loved. And in respect, some of us have been disowned and not loved by our family. And that's okay because they just don't understand. Ernest Holmes tells us that there's nothing that can separate us from ourselves. And he said this in this book, this thing called You, page 4, if you're looking for a really, really good read. We can't be separated from ourselves. We would like to run from ourselves sometimes. Sometimes we don't want to feel our own feelings. But they're us, and they're part of God. And that's okay. I laughed when I got this topic because as Dana shared in my introduction, I've had this called, I'm currently a ministerial student and a ministerial intern, and I have fought this call for 40 years. I've been saying out of fear, no, not me. I have nothing to offer. And that's a lie, I told myself. And then I would look at myself and say, well, I get angry and I get frustrated and sometimes I could be crazy. And I forget that that's all a part of God too. Do you remember the story of the money changers? When Jesus was in the temple and he threw the tables down, overturned them because he was angry that the money changers were doing their business in the temple. Jesus was God. As he grew, he was well aware who he was. He knew that he was one with God. And that's all that he could do, was be aware of that truth. That all parts of him were part of God. And he listened, even in the fear and the uncertainty. He listened to the still small voice in him, eventually stretching out his arms and dying on the cross. That takes courage. That takes guts to be willing to give your life to follow your own inner voice. Jesus wasn't willing to play small. He played big because he followed his life. Followed that call and played a huge role in the life of his family, his own life, the life of his community, the life of the Jewish people, the life of people all across the world throughout time. There have been institutions around him built to share his message. Though Some of them miss the mark sometimes, and some of them aren't exactly perfect, and some of them are just what they are. So, the questions I'm going to ask you are fairly simple. Are you afraid to listen to your own small voice? Welcome to life, honey. Yay, welcome. I gotta laugh. We all have that voice that we're all afraid to follow. And I just want to say, I love you. Get over it. You have such beautiful, loving voices just the way you are. Are you uncertain where your path is going to lead you? Every minute we live is a minute of uncertainty. Just a minute of complete uncertainty. And that's okay. It's okay to live in the moment, to live in joy, to live in laughter, to live in peace, and to live in uncertainty, knowing that you cannot be separated from God. And really, you can't compare yourself to anybody else because you're one beloved and perfect expression of God just the way you are. And you don't have to compare. You're just beautiful, just the way you are. Perfect, whole, and complete, just the way you are. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I really want you to think about it. A few questions, actually. Are you willing to love and accept yourself? Just the way you are. No put downs, no anything. Are you going to love the parts of you that you think are unlovable? I'm very lucky. There are parts of me I still think that are unlovable, but my husband loves me anyway, just the way I am. He may not always like me, and I realize I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but that's okay too. I love me. And more importantly, are you willing to be vulnerable to yourself so you can live a big life? The big life that the divine within you calls you to live. Not a little life, the big life. Too often, as I have lived my life, I have said to myself, not me. I can't live that big of a life. And if I'm really God informed like I say I am, why not? Why can't I be happy? Why can't I live and be joyful? Why can't I have the love of my life? Why can't I just love all the parts of me? Because all parts of me are God expressed, regardless of their appearance and regardless of anybody else's put down, regardless of what our culture says. Let's face it, our culture is just something we made up and we agreed to. And God loves us just the way we are and is calling us to the bigger life. Are you willing to be vulnerable to listen to the voice of God in you calling you to the bigger life? Are you willing to follow the example of Jesus, the living Christ, the anointed one? Are you willing to realize that you're anointed too? You are anointed. You are inseparable from God. You're anointed by God. You are loved by God, and you are love itself. So be bold, be joyful, be happy, dance with life, sing with life. Whatever's going on in front of you, just sing, just laugh, just love, just be you completely. And be the anointed Christ that you already are, the mystical presence that you already are. And so it is.
And so it is. Well, thank you, Frank, so much. Really appreciate it. Um, Jesus following his inner light and his small voice and challenging us to do the same. You know, I like the question that you shared. Are you willing to be vulnerable to the big life that spirit calls you to live? So thank you for those words. And next, we will have a musical selection by Safi, who uses she, they. She's an international medicine woman, vocal coach, retreat facilitator, and ceremony guide, offering their music, meditations, ceremonies, and teachings as medicine to illuminate our connection to our divine inner knowing. There you go. With a performance degree from the Peabody Conservatory of Music, a #1 house music song in South Africa, 6 independently released albums, and a 2010 and 2015 Individual Artist Award in solo performance from the Maryland State Arts Council. Safi sings songs channeled through her with a passion to open and connect hearts around the world. Safi is honored to teach private voice lessons for those ready to release their singing voice and their fears using her own vocal ladder teaching method. As a ceremony guide, Safi works in conjunction with therapists and psychologists to help people heal from their traumas and reclaim their joy. Sign up for monthly newsletters and watch her new music video for her song Let the Healing Begin. And learn more about Safi's offerings on her website, www.safi.com. And I give you Safi.
Thank you so much. Good morning. I just want to make sure you can hear me again. I'm paranoid now. I'm gonna say that's a yes. Awesome. This is a song written by Anna Hatta. All you need to know is you're safe again. Life is caring for all. Feel the ground beneath your feet again. Each step is taking you home to the trust in life, home to the basic trust in life, home to the trust you feel inside, home to the basic trust in life. All you need to know is you're free again. Life will carry you on. Put a smile onto your face again. Each breath is taking you home to the trust in life, home to the basic trust in life, home to the trust you feel inside, home to the basic trust in life. Na 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 na. The trust in life. La, 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 la. The basic trust in life.
Thank you, thank you, thank
Oh, you're so
you.
welcome. My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
All right, take care. So now is the time of service to remind you of our vision for Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore. We want and are so close to having a 24-hour spiritual facility that offers a wide variety of services. Um, that this center is a community hub, and that we work to have each person in the Baltimore metro area awaken to their spiritual magnificence, as we are all committed to creating a world that works for all. And so, how do we do that? In this time of the service, we're reminded that practicing the law of circulation is one of many ways to support the center. And it supports, where we're spiritually fed, while supporting the business of actually running the center as well. Daily our daily workings, the rent at Ruscombe Mansion, um, the soon to be uh, other maintenance that we have for the center, the workshops that we'll be having in person there, and other offerings. So, how do we tithe or donate? We have several ways to do so via PayPal, Givelify, text messaging, and the postal mail. If there's a certain place within CSL Greater Baltimore that you want your tithes or offerings to go, for example, the Emergency Care Fund or the New Building Fund, you can designate that in PayPal in the notes section. And again, that's CSL Greater Baltimore. And for text or Givelify, you can contact Sue Monahan, and she will explain. And if you don't desire to put a particular designation for your gift, be assured that the Board of Trustees will judiciously use the money to move forward our consciousness and awareness of us as divine beings, and will be excellent stewards with our financial resources and to serve this community and beyond. So, for more information, you can go to cslgreaterbaltimore.com/give. So, if you are aligned, you can say along with me our declaration of financial wealth and abundance. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Man, I can't wait to see that day. And so it is. So if you would like a practitioner, uh, the practitioner today is Frank Mastores, to pray with you, you can join us via Zoom. You can go to cslgreaterbaltimore.com, and there's a link there to our Zoom, and tap prayer in the chat. And so, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you. We appreciate you, Safi. We appreciate you, Frank. And thank you all for joining us on this Resurrection Easter Sunday. And now we'll have a closing prayer by Frank Mastores.
In all things, I give thanks. I'm grateful for this service. I am grateful for the love that has been expressed. I am grateful for Dana. I am grateful for Safi and her beautiful music. I am grateful for each and every one of you being that divine perfection, just the way you are. And most importantly, I am grateful just because God is expressing in, through, and as each of us, calling us to the bigger life, allowing us to be vulnerable, to loving each other, being with each other, and being as each other, because we are like small drops in this ocean, all separate and all one. And I give thanks knowing that it is perfect. You're perfect. And I release this to the law, knowing it's done in mind and form. And so it is.